Well, welcome to Longbridge Manor, the head office of Forever Living Products and the office of Bob Parker. First time I understand you've been in here.
It is the first time.
Tell us your name and where in the United Kingdom you live.
My name is Emma Cooper and I'm from Wales.
Emma Cooper is developing quite a name in the company Forever Living Products, which we're going to talk about in a moment. But before we do, I want to know about your life before Forever Living Products. Tell us about that.
I was a full-time police officer and I worked for Greater Manchester Police. My husband was also a police officer as well. He'd been one for 10 years and I'd been in for 6-7 years. I loved my job initially, but I got assaulted quite badly a couple of times and I started suffering with anxiety and bouts of depression. And I was 30 weeks pregnant when I decided to have a look at the opportunity. And when I did, I saw a way that I could just stay at home with my son, potentially for the first full 12 months. And then as soon as I got my head a bit more around the opportunity, I actually saw what it really could give us, which was life-changing results. And that's exactly what's happened. Just
to give us a scale for this chronologically, what year did you find Forever Living Products?
December 2013 I joined, so I'm just in my 16th month of the business so far.
Relatively short period of time, isn't it?
Very short.
I think there's a chance you might be breaking some records. We'll find out about that. So what impact then, if we wind forward those 16 months on, what impact has Forever Living Products had on yours and your family's life? It's okay to cry.
No, it's not. I've done enough crying. I find it really hard. I don't think I'm clever enough to find the words that would articulate exactly what it's done for us, because it has literally changed our lives beyond anything I could ever have dreamed of. You know, it's not a rags to riches story in terms of my parents had, my dad had a great business. He worked his butt off to give us the great things in life. So I know what a good life looks like, but I had no way of giving that to my son.
Until you found this? Till
I found this, yeah. And I was willing to work hard, because when I saw the marketing plan, they said you can work hard for 3 to 5 years and you can retire on an amazing income. And I just thought, well, I worked hard in the police, but I never got any extra money. You know, I gave everything I had to the police and I got no recognition for it whatsoever. And whereas with this, it kind of got a bit addictive. You know, the more people you helped, the more that helped you. And I joined the police to help people, but I never really felt like I did. So with this, you know, you help people and you're rewarded for it. I just think there's no other business like it. But you know, money-wise has been crazy, but what that has enabled us to do is have choices. So my husband and I have both resigned from the police. I pay my mum and dad a pension every month, which makes me feel amazing because they looked after me all my life. I treat my family a lot. My son's education is sorted now for life, so I can give him the best head start in life. And look after my dad. It's like all those things are dream-like, the things that you dream of, but you never really think will happen to you.
Help us put this into a bit more perspective, Emma. As a police officer, what would you have been earning?
I earned £1,613 a month.
Take-home pay. Now, I'm not going to be so rude as to ask what you're earning now. That'd be wrong, but
I don't mind.
Well, go on then, if you're happy to tell us.
Why would I be embarrassed? Because this month it was £40,076. I would have had to work 25 months in the police to earn that.
And just so people know that's not a one-off, what pattern have you seen in terms of monthly payments over the last 6 months, let's say?
Well, since the last 6 months, my business has grown considerably. So in January 2015, I was earning £14,882. Then the next month it jumped up to 25,500, then 33,000, then 40,000. Just insane. And in between that, I got a chairman's bonus check of
which we'll talk about in a minute. But I'm enjoying the story, so stick with me.
Okay.
Now, what would you put your success down to, Emma? If you had to really think about it, what would you say?
I honestly think genuinely wanting to help people. And I'm not just saying it because it sounds good. Genuinely, when I saw this business change in my life, I genuinely want that for the people that are within my team. I want them to know what this feels like. So I'll do anything I can to help them get it. And I genuinely think that helping other people, no matter what, we've been able to do some amazing charity work. And all those things are just giving back. And I honestly think that in life in general, if you come from a place of contribution, you're doing things for genuinely the right reasons, then I think good will happen to you, because I don't think there's any other way.
In terms of the level of work that you put in now, what does a typical week look like for Emma Cooper?
I work my butt off. But when they said 3 to 5 years, I thought, no, I'll work mega hard, but I'll do it for 2. But I'll work harder than probably anyone else is prepared to work, because it's 2 years out of my life. In the police, I would have had to work another 35 because the pensions changed, so you had to pay in more and get less out and work for longer. So to me, it was a no-brainer. I'm willing to, sacrifice things the next 2 years. But I mean, when you say sacrifice as well, I still get paid to go on holiday twice a year. We get to collect checks, we get ridiculous incentives, and I get to run my business with my husband and my son in my home.
So help me out. Help me to understand what a week in your life looks like. Do you take weekends off, or do you work them too?
No, I don't take any days off. Fully.
Okay, so you work really hard. So to put it into perspective, you're achieving almost Premiership footballer wages, but you are working really hard to accomplish that. And I think that level of honesty, I love that from you.
Yeah, I can't sit there and say my life is very organised and structured. It's not. It's pretty manic. But
So I know it's hard, Emma, but walk me through a typical week. What might a typical week look like?
In the morning, I always wake up 7 o'clock and I do my mindset training, because I think your belief has to be spot on. And when you've got a massive team, it's a lot of people relying on you for you to keep your head straight. So I always take that time for myself first thing in the morning. And I also think the first 20 minutes of your day, my top tip would be make sure you're putting in good stuff, because that will affect the spirit of your day. So for me, I'll always listen to my mindset coaching and self-development, because you're never going to be the finished article. You're always a work in progress. So I always do that. Then I will do some online planning meetings.
Using webinar, things like that?
Yeah, so I get to sit in my own home. And I'll do my online planning meetings. I might plan some trainings in, and then I might go and meet somebody who's interested in the business, and then have lunch or a coffee, which is not that hard work, is it, compared to the police? Then in the evenings, I might do launch someone's business or go to a business presentation, or what's the other thing? Some more planning meetings. It's as simple as that. There's only a few things you have to do. It's how much of those you choose to do depends how successful you are.
And what proportion of time do you spend face-to-face with new people, let's say? I'm talking face-to-face, really face-to-face, not over the webinars and stuff.
Not much at all.
Okay.
Not much at all. Maybe like 5-10%. I can't physically do it. I can't do it all. I mean, I'm always travelling up and down the country, but I have to work smarter. Otherwise I can't be in 10 places at once. So I
technology and I guess social media's played a big part in your success. What do you do? What tools do you use to help you deliver the outcome that you're getting?
I use, obviously, GoToWebinar is brilliant because you can get all your team on at once and do the trainings all together. And my managers use those as well. So they train their own teams. And I use Facebook to support my team, so with team pages. Yeah. But I don't use Facebook. I use it as, to showcase my lifestyle. I've never mentioned Forever on my Facebook. I don't mention products on my Facebook, nothing. I just sell a lifestyle. And you just want to build people's intrigue. What is it that you're doing? And so I use it that way.
Emma, have you developed the knack when you meet someone, either face-to-face or on a webinar or on a Skype call, let's say, of knowing that they've got that little something?
I think so. I think I can spot a diamond straight off. Whether they believe that they are will depend on how quick or how slow their journey goes. But I can spot one.
How much time do you spend on those that are really, really sceptical in the beginning before you sort of think, you know what, I'm going to let you move on?
Oh, I don't spend any time. No, I spend no time with sceptical people because, it took me 4 years. I was offered to look at the business 4 years before I decided to have a look at it and join. Yeah. It's got to be the right time. I don't want anybody in my team who feels like I've convinced them that it's a great thing. If they see it and they saw what I saw, well then brilliant. And if they don't, that's okay. They may one day or they may not. But, you don't want everyone to say yes.
What words do people need to say to you then for Emma Cooper to want to sponsor them?
I'll do whatever it takes. See, because I think there are two different kinds of people, and anyone who joined my team will know that when they say to me, well, I'm going to give it my best shot, Em, I'm going to give it everything I've got for 12 months, and then if it doesn't work, at least I know I've tried my best, I've just got to give it a shot. And I'll say to them, and they'll vouch for me, don't bother. Don't bother, you're wasting your £200. If it's already bought, send it back. It won't work for you, 1,000,000% it won't. I put my life on it. But if you tell me that I am prepared to do whatever it takes for however long it takes to get to where I need to go, then I will put my life on it that it will 1,000,000% work for you.
This is tough, but I think listening to you, you've got the ability to do this. Give me 5 words that describe the people that in your experience are going to be successful.
Driven, focused, motivated. You don't have to be confident, but you have to be a great student. So a willingness to learn, and I think someone with vision can see things that, you know, other people can't really see. See a growth in my business. I knew this was all going to happen, and I know that might sound self-assured, and I don't mean it to sound that way, but I could see it in my head. I knew what it felt like. I remember when I earned £1,521.39 in my second month, and I sat at the Celtic Manor with my very best friend Lisa Prescott, and I said to her, I started laughing, and she said, what's so funny? I said, I'm sat here in all my Primark clothes and nobody knows I've just earned £15,000 a month. And she was like, you're crazy, you earned 1,500. I'm like, I know, but I feel like I earned 15,000, Lisa. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen quick. She's like, really? I'm like, I know it. So it's a vision of, you know, that level of belief and that level of vision that, you know, that whatever you picture in your head, you keep it there for long enough and it will happen. I genuinely believe it. 16
months in, You've already achieved extraordinary things. Where do you see it going for you? How long are you prepared to work as hard as you're working now? Let's say?
Only 24 months I'm working this hard, so I'm 16 down. I'm not very good at maths.
And then you'll ease back a little bit, I guess. You carry on, but at a slower pace.
Of course. Yeah, of course. I'll always be there for my team. I can never stop this. I love it. I love this company. Honestly, I never thought I would feel like this about anything.
And how ambitious are you when you look at some of the big leaders within Forever Living Products, the Ralph Kipps, the Jane Leaches, the Natalie Healeys? People are already talking about you in the same way in some senses. Is that part of you? Do you have an ego? Do you want to be right up there as well? No? No. That doesn't drive me. Someone could say, oh, you're number one in the world. And for me, that doesn't get me excited that I want to get out of bed and work my business. It really doesn't. But if you say, look at this dream home that your son can live in all of his life, and look at this life you can give him, I'll work my butt off for that. That is what really makes me. And just picturing in my head my mum and dad laughing and being completely relaxed, Sean's parents, his sister, just being able to know that everything is taken care of for them. Such clarity such clarity in the vision of what you've done and what you want to do, which for me is one of the reasons why you've been so successful. Let's lighten it up a little bit now. I'm going to talk about Singapore. That might make you smile, because as well as all this money you're earning, occasionally you get to go to nice places. In fact, the company insists that you get to go to nice places, and chairman's bonus, we all know what that means. Last time around involved you going to Singapore. How was that experience for you?
Again, I don't think I'm quite clever enough to be able to articulate exactly what it was like, because you say nice places. I walked into that hotel having flown business class, which I've never been on business class before, and to be able to pay for my mum and dad to come with us, to get off that plane and to pull up to that hotel that I'd seen on pictures, to walk in the foyer holding my son. And
then to be treated like royalty when you're there.
You get a credit card with your name on it. That was surreal. And my parents, that credit card with the gift money, I think it was just under $4,000. They didn't have to pay a penny the whole time.
That's what they used.
Yeah. There was a time I couldn't afford to buy my mum a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I couldn't have.
Lots of people watching this, Emma, will know that feeling.
Yeah. And it petrified me. And she would always have to buy me a coffee. And I think, oh, gosh, if I could only just show her how grateful I am. And I think we did that for the first time in Singapore.
Wonderful for you to have achieved that. Bonus check on stage in front of several thousand people. The chairman of the company, Rex Morn, hands you a check. What was the amount for in your case?
You know, I forgot to take the thing off the front because I'd kept my fingers in my ears, because you can hear backstage how much the checks are. And I genuinely had worked out my check. I told you I wasn't very bright. I worked out that I was going to get 21,000. And that to me is off the wall insane money, on top of what you're getting paid a month. It's just crazily generous, you know. And so when I got on there, and then just as I was taking my hands out, I looked up at the screen and heard him say 32,000 something. I was like, no way. And of course my mum and dad didn't know, but they lent us an awful lot of money to be able for us to move back from Manchester when I left the police to Wales. And my dad didn't know that I was taking them because I wanted to hand him my check. And so when I saw that amount, I thought, oh, he's going to die when he sees this. So it was 33,142. And it's just a life changer, I think.
Now you've got a team as well. You're a leader now. And I can tell that's so important to you.
Yeah.
So what did being up there mean as a symbol of achievement after just 16 months for your team?
Well, I saw my best friend walk across the stage the day before me for her first check over 12,500. I felt more excited watching that and emotional than collecting my own, because I know that what it did for her and her family. South Africa's just, I'll be a wreck, don't come and find me. Because to watch how many of them will be from my team collecting checks, it's just going to be incredible. And that is what it's about.
Now, I know there are going to be some people who are watching this, and I think they'll see from your emotion and how real it is. They'll also see things that you don't see in yourself, which is the reason why you're being successful. Is you are very articulate and very passionate. And that's why you're being successful, in my opinion. You're a great communicator. But some of the people that don't know you yet could be part of your team. They could work with you. You could teach them what you do. Look down the camera and send a message to those people right now.
I think that timing is definitely everything. And if you doubt it, that it might not be the right time, then it's probably not going to be the right time. And I'm very keen to work with people who really want to work with me. So I would only urge you to take a look if you're open-minded, if you have a vision that you want something more for your family, and actually that you deserve more, because I knew how hard I worked for the police and that I got very little back, but now I decide what I'm worth on a monthly basis. And to be honest, they kind of give you a bit more as well. I don't think I would deserve that much, but it's an amazingly generous company and I feel honoured to work alongside them. So only if you see the vision, only if you think, you know, that you might deserve it, and you can work on that in your self-development. But I'm excited to help anybody who wants to make massive changes in their lives like I did. So,
final question, 2016, South Africa, Johannesburg. By then you'll still only be probably less than 3 years in still. Clearly you're going to be there.
Already I qualified.
What are your expectations for you and your team for Johannesburg?
It's going to be an emotional one. Because even if you've not yet joined yet, we're in June now, you can still qualify. I qualified for every single company incentive within the first 7 months of my business. So there's still enough time to qualify. So I know that it will be off the wall emotional, but I also know it will be truly inspiring to see all those new people up on that stage, and to think that, you know, last year there was, or the year before, sorry, there were hardly any people from the UK collecting checks, you know, compared to this year. And next year is going to be even more crazy. So I'm excited to just share that with everybody. I think it's going to be so much fun.
Emma Cooper, delightful to speak to you.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Thank you.